Good morning. Beautiful day in Adelaide this morning, and there's some action happening here on Flinders Street. Seems to be something at the corner of Flinders Street and Gawler Place. I can hear some sirens. I can see some smoke. And some action seems to be happening with people. There's a road closed sign. And there's quite a lot of activity occurring. I'm wondering if I can cross the road here. Looks like I can. There are marshals diverting traffic. And traffic is being safely diverted round into Gawler Place. People are on the footpath. There is a fire engine, but I don't think there is a fire or any evidence of a fire. What have we here? We have, I think, a senior Santos executive and Santos staff are on the pavement. People here enjoying the cafe. We have a banner here, Reject Santos, outside the Santos building. And action is happening here on the road. A large collection of bicycles is here on the road. Oil is being spilled on the road here and on the pavement. The fire truck is departing. Oil has been spilled at the entrance to Santos. Santos workers are coming out of the building. More oil is being spilled along the edge of the footpath, symbolising the damage and poison caused by oil production in our state. Here is a Santos employee taking a picture of the oil that's been spilled here.
We are Extinction Rebellion in South Australia, and we are here continuing to take direct action on the climate crisis that we are all caught up in. As the UN Secretary General, Antonio Guterres, made it so very clear just 2 months ago at COP27, we are addicted to fossil fuels, and they are destroying our planet. It is irrefutable that we are fast approaching tipping points that will make climate chaos irreversible. As Guterres said, we are on a highway to climate hell with our foot on the accelerator. Fossil fuel giants like Santos are responsible for this. In August last year, Santos reported a 300% increase in profit. 300% increase in profit in 6 months to the fuel barons have captured politicians and governments the world over, dragging us all down with their never-ending greed. Criminal! Business as usual, like this, is putting us firmly on track towards an unlivable world. As Gutierrez pointed out, some government and business leaders are saying one thing and doing something else. And that is exactly what Santos is doing with the backing of our government. Fracking in the Pilliga, the Narrabri gas project, and despite a legal injunction, continuing to build a pipeline from Darwin to Southeast Asia to deliver gas from the Barossa Basin near the Tiwi Islands. As British writer and environmental and political activist George Monbiot says, we have left politics to our parliaments and governments, and all they have shown us is how very easily they are nobbled by the fossil fuel barons. In other words, by money. It is only by ordinary people like you and me, taking direct action, demanding that the most important of all issues be given the urgent and ethical attention they demand. Your climate hero! Will we have any hope at all of a livable and meaningful future? As Gutierrez has said, many of today's conflicts are linked to climate chaos. This is the defining issue of our age and the central challenge of our century. The evidence cannot be more clearly recorded and documented than what has been given to us by scientists the world over through all manner of research. The IPCC reports, the State of the Climate reports, over the past 50 years and more. So concerned are some about urgent action that many ordinary and speak up to the planet for all that still has managed to stay alive on this planet, for the future of our children and for generations to come. There is no other way. History has shown us this. Direct action is the only way we have any chance of surviving at all. Here, well said. Yes. Climate heroes, thank you. Future generations will thank you.
We are Extinction Rebellion. We are here today because we are concerned about the Tour Down Under. I I am here today because I'm outraged, disgusted that our precious cycling events, cycling, healthy, outdoors, inclusive, is being sponsored by a fossil fuel company. So, Tour Down Under, just listen to that title, Tour Down Under, a wonderful international cycling race. Wonderful, including some of our rural, urban communities of South Australia. Healthy, inclusive,
welcome, Paul.
All ages, all abilities. The Santos Tour Down Under. Santos Tour Down Under. That first word. A company that already has a bad reputation. A company that establishes oil and gas fossil fuel projects. A company that, even though it's been declared we're in an emergency, is contributing towards that emergency and that catastrophe. Okay, Santos is extracting fossil fuels despite scientists telling us it will contribute towards a catastrophe. To death, it's lethal. Despite the fact that the International Energy Agency, an international agency, in 2021 said no more new fossil fuel projects. Santos is still establishing fossil fuel projects. Despite the fact that they have been prohibited by our Indigenous nations, local Indigenous nations, have prohibited from entering their land. Despite that, despite the fact that they're destroying, leading to a very uncertain future for not just our children and our grandchildren, but for us. Already we have floods, not just Australia, worldwide. We have floods, we have fires, we have droughts, we have food shortages. The environment is being destroyed. We have extinctions already. We have floods. We are losing our diversity every day, 200 species, 100 to 200 species. I am disgusted that our cycling event is sponsored by a company that is contributing to our demise. Cricket Australia, Tennis Australia have seen the light. They realise it's a paradox. How can they have a fossil fuel company sponsoring? They have ceased the sponsorship. Why doesn't the Tour Down Under? Why doesn't Events SA cease the sponsorship with Santos? I have written to my local politician, to all politicians. I've written to Santos. I have written to Events SA. We have protested. We have talked to politicians. We have nothing left to do but to stand here in the very oil with the bicycles to make that point. I want to shout very loudly, Santos, hands off our bicycle events. Hands off cycling, totally. Stop greenwashing. Events SA, dump Santos. Dump Santos!
Santos is killing us!
Dump Santos!
Dump Santos.
Dump Santos!
Dump Santos.
Dump Santos! Dump Santos! Dump Santos! Dump Santos! Dirty gas, $30, dump Santos! Dirty gas, $30, dump Santos! Thank you to our brave CPs for your beautiful words.
fucking bunch of people here with these bicycles. How dare you do this? I tell you what, Santos is promoting this event as a beautiful community event, and we don't deserve to be treated like this. Yes, you do! This is outrageous! This is completely outrageous! We want to stop it! The taxpayers of South Australia, the Santos Tour Down Under doesn't cost you anything because we pay for all that. What do you think we do it for? You think it helps our profits, that's why?
You don't pay taxes! Climate criminals! Stop the brainwash! Pay your taxes!
We have one thing to say to Kevin Gallagher, and I'd like to say you to all say it with your bells. Ready?
Kevin Gallagher, CEO of Santos.
We love bicycles at Santos!
And
we love bicycles! Sure we do!
Close associate because he's on the board of our Premier's brother, deeply embedded in the South Australian government and vice versa.
Tour Down Under! It's not called that for nothing, you know!
Oh, so much
taking
noise.
his point.
Full of hot gas.
No new gas, no new oil. Dump Santos now. No new gas, no new oil. Dump Santos now. No new gas, no new oil. Dump Santos now. No new gas, no new oil. Dump Santos now. No new gas, no new oil. Dump Santos now. No new gas, no new oil. Dump Santos now. No new gas, no new oil. Dump Santos now. No new gas, no new oil. Dump Santos now. No new gas, no new oil. Dump Santos now. No new gas, no new oil. Dump Santos now.
Chief Executive Officer Kevin Gallagher at a loss to know what to do faced with this demonstration against his company. He's claiming that Santos is the saviour of the Tour Down Under. We might see if we can get a few words with him in a moment.
I've got 8 questions.
The action continues here along Flinders Street in Adelaide. Your gas is killing us, and that is a very simple message, but it means so much. As the International Energy Agency has said so clearly, there is no room for additional gas and oil projects. Here's the oil. Santos is continuing to produce more and to open new projects. This will take us above the 1.5 degrees Celsius increase of global warming. Extinction Rebellion is here in South Australia. We act with love and rage. Our mantra, tell the truth, act now. If our government really wanted to tell the truth, they would be aware of the need to stop cozying up to these companies, to introduce restrictions, to tax them harder, and to make
Santos, now!
South
No
Australia
new gas!
fossil free.
No new oil! Dump! Santos, now!
Kevin
No
Gallagher,
new oil! Dump! Santos, now!
Chief Executive Officer, looking very pleased with himself.
Shall we do an interview with Kevin Gallagher?
Mr. Gallagher, are you ready?
How do you do? It's wonderful to be here. The Santos Tour Down Under. There's nothing like it.
So, Kevin, what have you got to say to these good people here who claim that your sponsorship of the TDU is greenwashing?
Well, Santos would never do that. An enormous community event it is. It's the Santos Tour Down Under after all. There are real dollars adding value. We are now so important to the South Australian economy, and we're calling it the Santos Tour Down Under, in exchange for permission to keep exploring for and exploiting South Australia's glorious gas reserves for as long as we want. What a great deal! What a great deal for our shareholders.
Here's some of it to share with you guys. Help yourselves.
Kevin
Plenty.
showering money
There's plenty
onto
to
the
go
South
round.
Australian public.
Santos is an expanding fossil fuel company in a time when climate change is causing devastation all over the planet. How do you fool the public into believing you are helping to cut CO2 emissions?
Well, now that's an exaggeration to say devastation. We never use phrases like that. It scares people. We don't need to fool anyone. We will cut net emissions with our brilliant plans at Moomba for carbon capture and storage. The taxpayers are already paying us to even make plans. What a bunch of suckers! We don't even have to do anything.
You guys are full of shit.
Well, Santos is proud of what we're doing. And as my friend says, some people here are full of poo.
Well, thank you very much. Gas is overwhelmingly still a large part of the mix. Sorry. Do you enjoy the support of the South Australian government?
Well, absolutely, Anna, of course we do. Energy Minister Tom Koutsantonis is our loyal friend and ally. Santos is very important to the state, especially our gas. I mean, Tom said gas is overwhelmingly still a large part of the mix in South Australia. And we want to see that remain because gas is the transitional fuel to a low carbon future. Now look, now listen, yeah. I'm out playing golf with him, with the Premier Malley we call him, and his brother Rob, you know, who works for, well, guess who? He works as government relations consultant for us. He works for Santos.
So, do you consult with First Nations owners when planning fossil fuel projects on their country?
Oh, Anna, we do more than consult. We talk to all affected stakeholders. Landholders, indigenous leaders, investors, climate scientists, all our exploration and licensing, it's all done with the Gomeroi elders, for example. We just tell them what we're doing. What are they complaining about? We always tell them what we're going to do. Think of all those jobs, Anna. I mean...
So that's not really consulting, is it? Just telling them what you're gonna do.
Well, what else do they need to know? We're ideal citizens. We consult with everybody. Yeah.
Boo! Liar! 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 Liar!
How do you feel?
So, Mr. Gallagher, how do you feel about the federal government's proposal to cap gas prices?
Well, now, Anna, look, this is just Soviet-style decision-making. No consultation, not like us. We consult everybody. They didn't come and even ask us to put up the price. To put down the price. That'll just rack up a huge debt for the Australian taxpayer, and they'll still be paying sky-high prices on their gas bills. And our profits will keep on soaring to the top.
So, they are communists, even though they have given you permission for all of your new gas projects all over the country. Is that right?
Well, isn't that what you'd expect? It's more jobs, it's better for the economy. Everybody does well, even the cyclists. Go the Santos Tour Down Under.
So what do you know about the Tour Down Under? Do you have an interest in cycling?
I tell you what, Anna, I know that it makes plenty of money for our shareholders. And they and all our friends get to rub shoulders with the world's best cyclists. It's beautiful for everyone. And yes. There's a stack of bicycles in our garage at home. We're all cyclists in our family. We even cycle at every every opportunity. And it's clear the Santos Tour Down Under is a wonderful celebration of South Australia's cycling culture. We love it.
Do you know how bikes work?
Oh, now look, Anna, let's be a little polite here, shall we? You hook on a bike, you push the pedals around, and away you go. I'm disappointed they don't use any petrol or gas, though. Actually, that's not a bad idea. Beat the electric bikes with gas-powered bicycles. Watch out on the Santos website. We'll be doing something like that in the future.
Do you have grandchildren?
No. Look, Anna, look. This is getting a little bit personal now, and I'm not happy at all. I have important duties at Santos at the Tour Down Under, and I'm leaving. This is a very insulting kind of attitude you've taken here.
What do you think those grandchildren are going to think about you when they find out what you were doing for a job while our earth is flooding and burning, and they are left with a future that is dire and devastation everywhere? What do you think they're going to say to you? What do you think they're going to feel?
They're going to say, thanks, Grandpa, for making us so rich.
I don't think so. Shame.
Kevin Gallagher exiting in a hub to continue his work fostering the profits of his company.
Fossil fuels now!
End fossil fuels now! Fuels now!
Police
End fossil fuels
contemplating the minor road
fossil
block
fuels now!
that's occurring here on
End
Flinders Street.
fossil fuels now!
Not as big as
Dump
the kind of blockage caused by the actual race,
dirty
and
oil,
we're
dump
happy to
Santos
support
now!
that
Dirty
blockage.
act, dirty
The
oil,
pile of
dump
bicycles here
Santos!
in not very good state,
Dirty oil, dump
symbolic
Santos now!
of the destruction
Dirty gas,
caused
dirty oil,
by the
dump
carelessness
Santos now!
of
Dirty
Santos,
gas, dirty oil,
their lack
dump
of care
Santos now!
for the
Dirty
planet,
gas, dirty
their
oil,
lack of
dump
understanding
Santos now!
of
Dirty
the destruction
gas,
that they are
dirty oil,
causing
dump
in the
Santos
Pilliga
now!
forest,
Dirty gas,
their
dirty
heart and
oil,
oil
dump
search in
Santos
Papua New
now!
Guinea, in the Barossa Basin, north of Australia, and around the world, because they are now the third largest
Dirty gas,
oil
dirty
and gas
oil,
company
dump Santos
in the world.
now! Dirty gas, dirty oil, dump Santos now! Dirty gas, dirty oil, dump Santos now! Dirty gas, dirty oil, dump Santos now!
The Tour Down Under, a fantastic event.
Dirty
in
gas,
South
dirty
Australia,
dollars, dump Santos now!
where all looking forward to it. I'm hoping that Events Cafe sees things and gets a better sponsor.
Dirty gas, dirty dollars, dump Santos now, and decarbonise. CCS is a pack of lies. 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 Decarbonise. CCS
Promoting carbon capture and storage as a way of reducing the emissions caused when they mine gas and oil. Of course, it doesn't at all address the Scope 3 emissions when people buy and burn the fuel.
Just noticed there's half a dozen people here and a bunch of media. There's 10,000 people freedom rally. I don't see a man in the media. This way, I support you, but where's the media? Thank you. All of it's
Santos now!
Really are the new company of sports washing and under to fill a product that is unhealthy for people and the planet. Thank you.
That's the issue. And that DNA damage.
Sorry for the disruption. Thank you. It's easy to think that the direct results of oil and gas on human bodies are a serious problem, and that is true. But the deeper problems are the increase in global temperatures and the tipping points that are even now being reached. Glaciers are melting. We know about the excessive rain here in Australia, with floods on the Murray, floods much worse in Pilbara in the north of Western Australia, people homeless still from the bushfires that we had a while back, and we're running into another bushfire season. It's very difficult to think long term and to take account of these emergencies that are happening. Our rebels, Dharma and Anna, here in the sun, glued on to a stack of bikes, symbolising the chaos and destruction of the climate emergency that we are facing. We say, tell the truth, act now. It will be too late. We have just 10 years to get this show on the road, to get real reductions happening in carbon production. Our marshals protecting our CPs here, our police liaison people are in discussion with the police. The safe roadblock is still in place at Gawler Place, ensuring that there's minimal disruption to the public. We can see here in the distance, traffic is being safely diverted to the north along Gawler Place. And police have gratefully taken over the management of our careful roadblock to ensure that traffic can flow freely. By the group Oka, a lament for people who are already suffering and will suffer from the climate crisis. Image here of spilled oil with the profits stuck in it, as we are stuck at this impasse in government policy. We have so much to offer. South Australia, the world powerhouse of renewable energy, and yet we're still locked into a determined, wealthy group of industrialists who refuse to change. Our rebels, remaining cheerful even though their message is so serious. We try to make our events and activities fun, but there is such a serious message behind them. We act collegiately because if we didn't, we would not be able to do this. We would not be able to stand up on the streets exposing ourselves to risk and to misunderstanding. But more and more people, so many supporters of the Tour Down Under, wish that we had a better sponsor. Look to the renewable energy industry, which has been so good for South Australia and is literally world leading. We could do so much better. We could be exporting and helping less fortunate industries instead of locking them in to increasing gas. These people are non-violent. They are determinedly peaceful. They are doing the best they can, having worked hard, many for 30, 40, 50 years to bring this to the attention of the public. Many of our workers here today not only work on environmental and climate matters, but also on refugee assistance, on social assistance for the poor, and in so many ways to support those less fortunate. We now have special force officers arriving to investigate how these people are attached to this pile of bikes, how Anna and Dharma
we are on a fast track to climate disaster. And this is not fiction or exaggeration. It is what science tells us will result from our current energy policies. We are on a pathway to global warming of more than double 1.5 degree limit agreed in Paris.
Speaking.
Some government and business leaders are saying one thing but doing another. Simply put, they are lying. And the results will be catastrophic. Climate activists are sometimes depicted as dangerous radicals. But the truly dangerous radicals are the countries that are increasing the production of fossil fuels. Investing in new fossil fuel infrastructure is moral and economic madness. We owe a debt to young people, civil society, and indigenous communities for sounding the alarm and holding leaders accountable. We need to build on their work to create a grassroots movement that cannot be ignored. If you care about justice and our children's future, I am appealing directly to you. Demand that renewable energy is introduced now at speed and at scale. Demand an end to coal-fired power. Demand an end to all fossil fuel subsidies. We are...
Antonio Guterres' words making a stark contrast as he says climate activists are often depicted as dangerous radicals. Nothing could be a greater contrast than these slight-statured people standing in the hot sun to make the point that they have done everything they can and that non-violent civil resistance is the only avenue left to them. Even though they're continuing with all their other mild-mannered resistance work,
fossil fuel
meetings,
subsidies, end fossil fuel subsidies,
discussions with politicians, encouraging other people to demonstrate,
subsidies, end
making donations to lawyers to argue the case. Some of them are lawyers, Many of them are medical professionals. All of them are active in so many areas. They do not expect that everybody will take this kind of radical action, but they encourage everybody to do something.
From the TDU! Santa 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 from the TDU! No more gas, no more oil, keep the carbon in the soil. No more gas, no more oil, keep the carbon in the soil. No more gas, no more oil, keep the carbon in the soil. No more gas,
People
no
passing
more
by.
oil, keep the carbon in the soil. No more gas, no more oil, keep the carbon in the soil. No more gas, no more oil, keep the carbon in the soil. No more gas, no more oil, keep the carbon in the soil. No more gas, no more oil, keep the carbon in the soil.
Reject Santos.
No more oil, keep the carbon.
We want that message to be so strong and clear. We support the Tour Down Under, as so many people rightly do. What a fabulous community event. What a crying shame that we should be offering advertising to this wealthy, damaging company, Santos.
Decarbonise! CCS is a pack of lies! Decarbonise! CCS is a pack of lies! Extinction! Rebellion! Extinction! Rebellion! Extinction! Rebellion! Extinction! Rebellion!
Here's a Tour Down Under staff member.
Another world is possible! Dharma is unstoppable! We are unstoppable! Another world is possible! Dharma is unstoppable! Another world is
Our activist covered in oil being led away with her bicycle.
possible! Dharma is unstoppable! Another world is possible! Dharma is unstoppable! Another
Dwarfed by the large stature of the police officers who have carefully removed her from the pile of bicycles.
Another world is possible!
Our activist Anna is also being removed from the pile of bicycles, also covered in oil.
Anna is unstoppable!
The chain that attaches her to the pile of bicycles is being removed.
Anna is unstoppable! Another world is possible!
The police officers are taking her away, still glued to her bike.
Anna is unstoppable! Another world is possible! Anna is unstoppable! Another world is possible! Anna is unstoppable! Another world is possible! Anna is unstoppable! Another world
Well
is
done,
possible!
Anna,
Anna is unstoppable!
for that
Another world is
difficult
possible!
and brave action that you've taken today. Incidentally, for those people worried, watching
Thank you,
here,
Anna and Dharma, you're our heroes! We love you!
this oil on the floor here, on the pavement, is actually not oil. It's actually an edible product and will easily disperse with water. Not like the oil and gas that Santos is continuing to extract. If only the oil and gas that was extracted was the only problem. The worst problem comes when it is burnt and releases the carbon embedded in it. That's what is the most damaging product, unfortunately. This pseudo oil here is a very benign product in comparison. Passers by, enjoying the spectacle.
We love love cycling, yes we do. Santos out of the TDU. We love cycling, yes we do. Santos on the TDU. We love cycling, yes we do. Santos on the TDU. We love cycling, yes we do. Santos on the TDU.
We have here our media representative, Chris. Chris, would you like to say a few words?
Yeah, I'd totally be happy.
We love cycling, yes
I might would have from explain
Santos on the TDU. We love cycling.
Maybe someone can comment on the live stream if you can hear me alright. Yeah, oh, you've got a microphone. Can I borrow that? There we go. We'll figure that eventually. I mean, together we have the answers. Alright, so yeah, if you've just joined us, we are here in front of the Santos building at 60 Flinders Street. Rebels have blocked one side of the street with a collection of bicycles and bicycle parts. Our Rebels Dharma and Anna have glued themselves to their own bicycles, which were and so today's protest is kicking off the next wave of action for Extinction Rebellion in South Australia around Santos and their sponsorship at the Tour Down Under. So, as Anna said before on the microphone, we love cycling, but the issue that we have is around Santos. So this is a fossil fuel company that is, about to, get going on a bunch of new oil and gas projects in the midst of a climate emergency. And what we feel is that Santos is using this event to create social consent for climate destruction.
Bikes can't hide your dirty loot. Time to give Santos the boot. Bikes can't hide your dirty loot. Time to give Santos the boot. Bikes can't hide your dirty loot. Time to give Santos the boot. Bikes can't hide your dirty loot.
And it looks like we've just had the rapid response team that's coming out here as well.
Doesn't wash with us. Your greenwash.
I think there's maybe some things that are really important to highlight to people on the stream. So there's a combination of things that are happening here with the sponsorship. Part of it is around Santos getting, the warm and fuzzies from the public because they sponsored the event, right? They want the association of cycling, a clean, green, sport with their brand, their unsustainable oil and gas, production. Oh, here we go. The bicycles are coming off the road. Maybe I'll let you get some footage of that, Kathy, and I'll come back in a minute.
Adelaide City Council making a neater job of removing the symbolic bikes very rapidly. Tragically, even children's bikes in the mix.
Dirty gas, dirty
symbolising the particular vulnerability of children.
Dollars, dump Santos now. Dirty gas, dirty 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 dollars, dump Santos now.
They've bought possibly some salt.
Dirty gas, dirty dollars.
Oh, it's got some sand. They think they're soaking up oil, but in fact, it's just food colouring.
Dirty gas, dirty dollars, dump Santos now. 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 Your greenwash doesn't wash with us. 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 Dirty gas, dirty dollars, dump Santos now. 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 Your greenwash doesn't wash with us. 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 Dirty gas, dirty dollars, dump Santos now. Dirty gas, dirty dollars, dump Santos now. Dirty gas, dirty dollars, dump Santos now. Dirty gas, Dump Santos now. We're Extinction. Rebellion. Extinction. Rebellion. Extinction. Rebellion. Extinction. Rebellion. Extinction. Rebellion. Extinction. 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 Decarbonise. CCS is a pack of lies. 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 Dirty gas, dirty dollars. Dump Santos now. 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 You're greenwash, come watch with us. 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 Extinction. 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 Rebellion. Extinction. Rebellion. We're not going away. We're here to stay for the next 10 days. We're not going away. We're here to stay for
Rebels making the point that the Tour Down Under is a 10-day event.
Extinction.
And many actions are planned to make the point that Santos is not an appropriate sponsor for this event. Adelaide City Council workers cleaning roads.
Is that where you're at about?
Dirty gas, dirty dollars, dump Santos now. Dirty gas, dirty dollars, dump Santos now. Keep gas in the ground, keep it in the ground. Keep gas
We're
in the
honoured
ground,
that so many international cyclists are here for the Tour Down Under. We're looking forward to seeing the race. So many events over the next 10 days. We'll be cheering on the cyclists. We want this event to continue. Our target here is Santos. We do not want this company to sponsor our renowned international cycling event. Many fans feel the same. Many people support our rebel, Dharma, including unglued from her bicycle. Our police liaison people.
Anna is unstoppable. Another world is possible. Anna is unstoppable. Another world is possible.
Our rebel Anna also being taken away, probably to the city.
I love you, Anna. Bye. We are unstoppable. Another world is possible. 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 We are unstoppable. Another world is possible.
Our police liaison people tasked with keeping our rebels safe. There's not much they can do to ensure the safety of the general population, the safety of the people in the Kimberley, the safety of the people on the Murray in South Australia. We try to keep our events as safe as we can because we are so concerned, so frightened by the risks that face us all. Seeing those long-term risks evolve does not give us any satisfaction, doesn't help us. So we are now calling a halt to this demonstration. Thanks to everybody involved. Thanks for putting yourselves on the line and making the point that the Tour Down Under is a fabulous event, but is spoiled by the Santos stain. This building is the centre of so much climate damage, and we want it to stop. South Australia, powerhouse of renewable energy, deserves a better international image. Thank you for watching.